Hello, welcome again to Let's Talk. Today we will be talking about XLOOKUP. It's the newest MS Excel function that is available now in Excel 2016 and newer versions of Excel like Office 365. And it sort of replaces the VLOOKUP and the HLOOKUP functions. So we're going to discuss how you can use XLOOKUP. Now, what is XLOOKUP? You use the function when you need to find things in a table or arranged by row. For example, look up the price of an automotive part by the part number or find an employee name based on their employee ID. With XLOOKUP, you can look in one column for a search term and return a result from the same row in another column, regardless of which side the return column is on. Now, this is the big difference it has when compared to the VLOOKUP or the HLOOKUP functions, because in VLOOKUP you can only return a function if the rows or if the column that you're looking for is found on the right side of the lookup value or the lookup reference. But with XLOOKUP, you can already search for the column that is found on the left side, or if you're doing the HLOOKUP version, you can already choose the rows above the lookup array. So what is the syntax to be used when using the XLOOKUP function? Here you have the lookup value, and you also have the lookup array, and then the return array. Now you can see here match mode and search mode are inside brackets. So if a syntax is inside a bracket, that means that it's an optional syntax, and that there's no need for you to fill that up. Meaning XLOOKUP will work even if you only put the lookup value, the lookup array, and the return array. Now, the optional match mode and the search mode arguments will be discussed later on as I show you samples of how to use XLOOKUP. Now, here we have sample tables. These might look familiar to you because these are the same examples that I have used when I showed you the VLOOKUP and the HLOOKUP tutorial. Now, what I have here in this table is the customer number, the name, product, the plan, monthly fee, and a start date of the plan. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for the name Gary Carrasco, and then I will put here the customer number and the product of the said customer. So normally, if we will do VLOOKUP, we will use Gary Carrasco. This would be our table array. However, the customer number is found on the left side of the table, so we won't be able to use VLOOKUP that way. One workaround would be to put or to copy this column, the name column, and then put it on the left side of the customer number, or copy the customer number column and put it on the right side of this particular table. That's one workaround. But with XLOOKUP, there is no need for us to do that. So let's start in using XLOOKUP. So I'll just need to put on XLOOKUP. And then what is our lookup value? Our lookup value is going to be the name, Gary Carrasco. So let us put here I11. And then the lookup array should be the column that has the name Gary Carrasco. So in this case, it's going to be this particular column. Now, the return array is I want to get the customer number, so the return array should be the column where I can find the customer number. So see, this is already found on the left side of our lookup value. Like I've mentioned, there is no need for us to put any value for this particular syntax because these are just optional. So if I just close it with the parentheses, I can already get this particular result, which is A7 960, and this is the one that I have highlighted. So let's do that for product. So again, let's do XLOOKUP, and then our lookup value would be the name. The lookup array where the name is found is going to be B11 to B19, and then the return array. So this time we want to know the product. So the product column is found here on the right side. So that's what I will highlight. And then close parentheses. So this is already the result of the XLOOKUP formula. Now, again, I've mentioned earlier that this is the syntax that we have, or the format that we will need to follow if we want to use the XLOOKUP function. Earlier, when I was typing, you would see that there was also some search mode or the match mode that is needed for us to be able to enter the result that we need. So I'm going to put here some examples wherein we will be using those optional syntaxes or syntax. So let me just write here a formula for a formula to look up for the name of Gary Carrasco. But in this particular example, I have here a wildcard. What do I mean by a wildcard? I am not sure if the customer's name is Gabby or Gary Carrasco. So what it will do is it will try to look for that particular value that looks or that looks like GA wildcard and then Y Carrasco. So it's going to look for, let's say I cannot remember the first name of my customer, so I'll just type in that wildcard. Now that can still be used using XLOOKUP. So all we need to do is type in XLOOKUP. The lookup value would be the one with the wildcard, and then the lookup value would still be the name column. And then the return array, since we're looking for the customer number, would still be in column A. Now, there is a syntax here that says if not found. Okay. I will try to show you that example later on. But for the meantime, let's just put here not found. Because if they cannot find this particular value, it will give me the result not found. Okay, now it's asking me to put in the match mode. Since I do not have a exact match, because I have a wildcard, or I have a missing character, I will look for that other option, which is wildcard character match. So here it's represented by 2, so I'll just type in 2, and then I can just press enter. So see, even if the name does not exactly match the name Gary Carrasco in my table, it will still give me the customer number of A7960. And it's because I made use of the syntax of using a wildcard in searching for that particular value in my table. So see how wonderful XLOOKUP is working for us. So let's do that again, and this time it's going to be for the product. So again, that's XLOOKUP, and I'll use the name with the wildcard, and then the lookup array would still be the name column, and then followed by the return array, which is the I'm sorry, for this one it's going to be the product column, so that's going to be in column C. And then again, let's just put there not found in case it cannot find the name with the wildcard. And then let's put in 2. Okay, so in this case it gave out the product banana, so we still got the right result. Now here on the next example that I have, instead of putting in Gary Carrasco, I put in Gary Camacho. So this is a sounds like type of search for this particular example. So let me just put in XLOOKUP, and then I'll put in the lookup value, which is Gary Camacho. The lookup array would be the name, and then the return array would be the customer number, which is in column A. And then this is what I have used earlier, not found. So this would be the result if they cannot find this particular lookup value. So not found, and then followed by exact match, and then you can also use the other syntax is first to last or last to first, but in this case, let's make use of all the syntax, and we'll just go from first to last, meaning they will try to search from the first data entry up to the last data entry. So I'll put in 1. So see, it gave me the result of not found because they cannot find the value Gary Camacho in this particular example. So again, let's type that again in the product cell. So that's XLOOKUP. Look for Gary Camacho. Highlight the name and then highlight the product, and then put in the result in case we cannot find that particular value, and then the match mode would be 0 and then 1. Again, 0 and 1, we can opt not to put in 0 and 1. So when I press enter, oops, sorry, let me just, because I did not put in the comma, so let's press enter. Okay, so why did it give that particular let me just do a trouble. Okay, because okay, let me just do a correction. This is not supposed to be there, the B17. For some reason I was able to click on the B17. Okay, I'm sorry about that, but there you go. So again, this is what I have typed in. It's XLOOKUP I17, then B11 to B19, which is the name column, and then followed by C11 to C19, which is the product column, and then the result in case it's not the lookup value is not found. So here it's not found. Okay, so that's how we are going to use XLOOKUP in our queries. Now the thing is, the XLOOKUP sort of became a mix of VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP, and then the if function. Let's say if you cannot find this particular column, then you give out this result. So it's actually a combination of not just two criteria for a particular function. So that's really the reason why many people are really looking forward to using XLOOKUP. Now another thing that I want to show is this one. I have here the product previous and current. Let me just show you this particular. Let me see if I can show you this in one window. Okay, why do I have here product previous and current? Remember, in one of the syntax or the options that we can use is finding the search mode argument, that is searching first to last, that is from the top to bottom, which by the way is the default search mode. And then there's also the last to first. Remember, when you are using VLOOKUP, we would normally sort our data so that when it sees the lookup value that you are looking for, it will enter the first the first result as it encounters that lookup value. But in this case, if you notice, Gary Carrasco was entered twice. So you have here Gary Carrasco banana 718 and July 18, 2019, and then there's also Gary Carrasco, and this time the product is an apple, but the start date is on January 30, 2020. So when we use XLOOKUP, by default it searched for the lookup value from top to bottom, but we're going to create a formula that will make it search from the bottom part of the table going up. So that's the reason why I put here previous and current. Previous means this is going to search for the previous plan or the previous product that the customer had, And then for the current, it will search from the bottom because this already contains the recent, the bottom rows represent the newest or the current data for a particular customer. So let me just type in here for in getting the previous product. We'll just follow the usual way of entering XLOOKUP. So we'll look for Gary Carrasco. I'll just type here Gary Carrasco, or link it to that cell, and then look for the product, which is again in column C9, and then we can just press enter. So it will give banana as the result, which is correct. Now we're going to search from the bottom. So we are expecting to get apple as a result. So let's do that. Let's type in XLOOKUP and then Gary Carrasco's name. And then again, the lookup array is in column B. The product is found in column C. And then if I do not want to put anything for the if not found syntax, so I can just put in another comma. And then it will lead me to the next syntax, which is the match mode. I can put there 0, or since it's already by default the exact match, again I can just put in another comma. And then for the search mode, all I need to do is type in -1 because it will search from the last data going to the first data. So that would be -1. So when I type in the close parentheses, it will already give me apple, which is the product of the latest plan for Gary Carrasco. So that's how you will use XLOOKUP using the syntax of the match mode and then the suggested or not the suggested but the search mode argument. Okay, so that's how we are going to use it. Now here's another table. Again, we'll make use of XLOOKUP, but if you're going to look at this incomplete table, I have here the ages 5, 16, 20, and 55. These numbers do not have exact matches in this reference table because what we have here is 0, 10, 20, 30, and 40, and it is described through this age bracket column. So again, we can already look for the approximate match using XLOOKUP, and this is how we would be typing it in. So it's XLOOKUP and then the lookup value would be 5. Lookup array would be in column B. Let me just make it an absolute cell. And then the return array would be the age bracket. And then if it's not found, I do not want to put anything, so I'll just put in another comma. The match mode, so this is where it will matter. The match mode, since we do not have an exact match of the ages in this table, what we can do is choose -1 or exact match or next smaller item. So why did I choose the next smaller item? Because we're looking into brackets. If I want to choose if I have the number 5, of course I want the result to be 0 and or below 10 years old and not 10 to 19. So that's why we need to choose the smaller item. So I'll just put in -1. And after pressing enter, it will already give me below 10 years old. So I'll just need to copy this and then paste it to the other rows. So here you will already have 16 with an age bracket of 10 to 19 years old. 20 is found in 20 to 29, and 55 is already found in 40 years old and above. So these are the formulas or the syntax that we use in order to find the age bracket for the ages that we have here. So this is how you use XLOOKUP function similarly to a VLOOKUP function. Now the next set of examples that I have here would be a row of let's say sales or volume of sale for account managers. And what I have here are the dates from January 1 until March 31. So let's say you have this table and you just want to make a quick check on how much a certain account manager has sold on a particular date. So you can also use this the way you would use the HLOOKUP formula. So how do we do that? So just put there X lookup. The lookup value will now be the date, which is March 15. And then the lookup array would be this one, where the dates are located. And then it will give me the result based on the name of based on the entries found in Milo Guerrero. So in this case, the return array should be coming from this particular row, the row of Milo Guerrero. So if I type in, let's go back here. If I type in B30, which is the date, and then I highlighted the row, and then highlighted the where the result would come from, it gave me 22. So let's see if that is correct. So I'll go to March 15. Where is March 15? So this is March 15. Let me just highlight it. And let's look for Milo Guerrero. So there. This is the number found, or this is the result based on the XLOOKUP, which is correct. We did get a result of 22. So this is how you use XLOOKUP, similar to using HLOOKUP in our when we use it in our spreadsheet. So I hope I was able to show you how to use XLOOKUP properly. And let me know if this helped you in your projects or in your tasks, in the reports that you will be having. But please don't forget that this particular function is available in Excel 2016 or Office 365. So even if you do have those versions and you're able to use it in your report, if you give it to someone or to another user who does not have the same version or who has a lower version, they will be able to see the result of the XLOOKUP formula that you have created or have used. So you always consider who the recipients of your reports would be. So again, that's it for our tutorial for today. I hope you learned something new. And again, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to get in touch with us through our Facebook, IG, and Twitter accounts, and that is at Let's Talk. We also have a YouTube channel, and we will be uploading this particular tutorial also in that channel. And you can go there through our shortcut link, which is tinyurl.com/Let's Talk. So thank you very much, guys, and please don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. If you are going to follow us in YouTube, please don't forget to click on the notification bell so that whenever we would be uploading new videos or new tutorials, you would be notified right away. So again, thank you very much for watching and have a good day.